We're back.
You're back.
I know.
We are back, and you're back from a couple days off from the Las Vegas auction.
Well, I was there, but I
You
wasn't
were.
feeling well, so I tapped in my good pal Johnny Lewis, and I kind of had some FOMO. I was watching you guys, and you guys were just having fun and waxing a lot of good information about motorcycles and having all the fun, and I'm just sitting in the corner. And just big shout out to Matt and Johnny for handling it while I was feeling under the weather, but I'm really excited to come back.
Well, it's great to have you back as co-host here in Mecum in the Morning, and welcome to our show. We're so excited that you've joined us here at Glendale under the lights of the State Farm Stadium.
This is a massive property. This is my first time here, and I think I'm getting 20 to 25,000 steps a day just looking at everything that's within the stadium, but all the tents and all the action going on outside. It's a lot to take in here. It's a lot.
We've had great weather. Now, this is the first Mecum in the Morning, but this is not the first day of the auction. We've already had a couple days under our belt, lots of excitement on the block, and a lot more in store as we get closer to Saturday.
Yeah, it's episode 40 and day 3 of Mecum Glendale here at State Farm Stadium.
Absolutely. And what we have in store for today, crossing the auction block, we have 30 pieces of road art, all kinds of cool neons. I saw an awesome piece of an American flag that I think came off of a silo. Would look so cool in a garage. 342 vehicles, and that includes 4 collections. Man, there's a lot of good stuff that's in store.
Yeah, and if you're here, we have actually something. Big announcement for us is we actually have our permanent home now.
We do.
Yeah, so if you're coming to Glendale, we have a permanent home set up here at the service station, so right behind the auction block. And most auctions moving forward will be located outside of Kissimmee, because that's a larger event and we'll have our own home there. But if you're coming now, you can identify where we are. The team did a great job of putting together a great set for us, a permanent set for us. I guess because now we're at episode 40, people are like, okay, Mecum in the Morning is here to stay. Let's make sure they feel comfortable at home. Matt and our producer Alyssa tend to hang out here a lot when they're not out filming segments. Come by, have a talk with Matt, talk to Alyssa, just, welcome us to our new permanent home.
I love it.
Yeah.
And we've already had some interaction with some guests the last couple days as Alyssa and I got ready for the shows. We've had people coming by asking, hey, what is this? Can't wait to tune in, or we love the show. So it's very exciting to kind of have a permanent place here in the service station.
It is. It just makes it feel for real. And actually behind us is one of my favorite spots here at State Farm Stadium. We have such a great collection of Corvettes that are behind us that are going to go. I think it's Friday and Saturday cars, but I got really excited yesterday and I did, my own filming. I know Alyssa probably would judge my content creation, but there's some great Corvettes that I just had to stop and take a minute to admire them.
A lot of great cars, and there's also a lot of great merch that we have here on site. Right next door to us, you can get all the latest merch gear. You can see there the helmet that we had earlier that rolled, I think, at Kissimmee.
Yep.
We've got some event exclusive tees. There are 2 of them. I love the blue one. That's what I'm rocking today right there.
Did you get me the black one to wear tomorrow?
I did.
Yes.
But there's all kinds of the latest gear. We've got the die-cast cars over there that I know are very popular. The helmets also, I know that's been a really cool keepsake for people that want to dress up their garage.
And the ladies, we dropped some new stuff for the ladies at this auction. We have a Columbia zip up for women, but we also have a really cool shacket. Some of my team and I wore it out. We were at an event called the Desert Smash in Palm Springs a couple weeks ago. So we debuted the shacket. People love it. I've seen it kind of fly off the shelves here. So I'm excited for, the women's stuff to be launched. We're growing the women's division of the apparel shop, and I can't wait to see people rocking the new stuff.
Well, and to that end, the Adventure Zone has also made a return here on site, which is a great place for the kids to have some fun. I was out there yesterday with Alyssa, and the coloring, the slot cars, the power wheels, it's all going on.
Yeah, so we did launch Adventure Zone in Kissimmee and had such a great response, but it was our first time. So we kind of sat back and, took in some of the parents' opinions or, suggestions or whatever. One of the things was to offer cars for the bigger kids. So a lot of the power wheels we had were for the smaller, 2 to 5 year old. So we did bring in a couple of vehicles that were for the bigger kids, and we saw them playing around yesterday, and it was great. We had Fox News out yesterday doing a segment out there, and her and our guy Mel that runs the Power Wheel course were racing each other in the big kids Power Wheels. It was a lot of fun.
Do you know what I'm calling that area, by the way?
What?
It's not as original. I'm calling it the Adventure Zone, the sequel, because it's right underneath that big giant 2.
Yeah, I know. So if you are coming and you bring your kids, just look for gate 2, and it's very hard to
It's
miss.
like a 2-story literal numeral 2.
Yeah, it's giant.
So in my mind, it's the Adventure Zone, the sequel.
Okay, I like it, Matt. Yeah.
Well, Brian, we've got so much news out here, genuine news, and we have a major announcement related to our TV coverage.
We do. So yesterday, we announced our multi-year agreement partnership with ESPN Plus. I'm really excited about this, Matt, because it's reaching a demographic that we're trying to tap into, right? You know, everyone likes cars, but sometimes they don't know where to find us. Having a network like ESPN Plus, which is the largest sports network in the entire world, giving us maximum visibility to grow our audience and grow our customer base and just get the world of cars out there to more people. I'm really excited. Starting today, we have 3 days of coverage here at Glendale, 3 to 9 Eastern Standard Time. And it's really exciting. We'll still have Scott Hoke and Bill Stevens and Chris Jacobs and Danielle Trotta on the TV. I'm really excited about it. ESPN Plus is such a great platform. It gives Mecum such an opportunity. But for those that don't know, some of the information about the package is if you subscribe to Hulu or if you subscribe to Disney Plus, most likely you have that ESPN subscription already. But if you're wondering how much is it going to cost you if you just want ESPN Plus, it's $11.99 a month. You know, that's less than a case of beer a week. Let's just put it into perspective, right? So please let us know if you're going to chime in or tune in on ESPN Plus. Another tidbit to know is that after the auction ends, about 72 hours after the last day of the auction, the entire coverage from ESPN Plus will air as a replay on YouTube. But we're not doing away with the live block cam. So a lot of people are asking, well, does that mean that we can't go to your website anymore and have the live? No, that absolutely does not change. You still have access to that. You know, obviously it's not with commentary like our TV programming with ESPN Plus has, but we have live block cam coverage, and that's every single day of the auction, regardless of when we have our TV programming. So it started Wednesday and it'll go through Saturday. So there's many ways to watch all the action on the floor, and also tune in to Mecum in the morning to get all the previews for what's going to happen throughout the week.
Absolutely. So, but I know there's been a buzz here all week long as we've known about it, and we've kind of wanted to make that announcement. I think it just went live yesterday.
Yeah, at around 1:30 p.m.
So now our fans and people coming to the auction are kind of getting a taste of that, and I think everyone's really revved up to see just kind of that new partnership takes hold.
You know, it opens up a whole new world for us. Again, it's that reach. It's getting more people involved, and that's what we need to do as a auction company, but as a car auction company, is to really foster, you know, the community and make it bigger and have it grow. And having a huge platform like ESPN behind us, you couldn't ask for a better partnership. You really couldn't.
Yeah, we're bringing the excitement of Mecum Auctions to an even wider audience. We're going to get more people excited about what happens here.
And I don't want to say anything, but there's even more big news to come in the next couple months. Hopefully, we'll be the first to break the news. I don't know if that's going to be possible, but 2025 is going to be a really exciting year for Mecum in terms of growth and like what's on our schedule, all of the access that people will be able to have. You don't even know half of it, Matt.
Well, I'm going to have to stay tuned, and I'll be watching Mecum in the morning.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's move on to some other excitement. And a legendary race car, Brian, has burst back onto the scene. It is the 1965 Ford GT 109 competition prototype Roadster. Brian, this car just has gone around the world in terms of its provenance, its history, and it's been in the private collection of Dana Mecum for the last number of years.
Yeah, since 2013.
Since 2013. Now, it's made grand appearances at some of the top shows over the last couple of years, but now it's kind of back in the public's eye because the news has been announced that is going to be selling at Dana Mecum Spring Classic later this May in Indianapolis.
This car, the restoration that it's gone through is absolutely amazing and beautiful. We do have it on display, and that's obviously one of the reasons why we're talking about it now is that if you're at the stage entrance to the auction block, there it is. It's on display. Check it out. It is one of the most beautiful vehicles I think I've ever come across. It is eye-catching. The interior of that, just everything about that vehicle.
And some of the notable aspects about it, Brian, because I think a lot of people know of the Ford GT race program during the 1960s at Le Mans in France. A lot of that has to do, I think, with the film Ford versus Ferrari, which would happen in 1966. This car actually saw use on the track there in France in 1965, and it's one of 2 GT Roadsters built. So fascinating, Brian, to see how those engineers back in the day were working to shave pounds to make this cars even more aerodynamic. And that's the story of this vehicle, where they were experimenting. Hey, if we took the roof off of this GT, can we make it go faster? So I love the looks of it, just because it looks like it looks like such a fun car to drive. I know it's not what it's for competition.
Yeah.
But this is this is one of 2 surviving examples today, loaded with provenance. And then another fun part of the story is that for many, many years, it was in the collection of Dean Jeffries, a very well-known Hollywood or LA area car customizer. So I love the story. There's so much to talk about this car. We're gonna be covering it a lot more in detail as we get closer to May. But as you mentioned, people who are coming here to Glendale can get a sneak peek of it out on display.
You know, we get media reports every morning, and this particular car, the media's loving it. You know, it's been covered in probably every top automotive magazine and publication. You know, that cars like this don't come up for sale often, and the attention that it's grabbing, especially with the provenance on this vehicle and just the rarity of it, people just can't get enough of it. Yeah.
That's a great way to put it. That cars like this do not come up very often for sale, let alone to kind of see in person.
Exactly. Usually they're in a private collection and you just don't get to see them again. So thanks to Dana for letting this one go. We're enjoying being around it.
I'm going to give you a scoop on some travels, Brian. You and I have stayed so busy since our last auction, but between the last couple of weeks, last month, I was able to head down to Naples, Florida to take in Cars on Fifth, talking about exotics, talking about race cars. There was a lot there. Mecum Auctions was a part of that event, and I kind of wanted to check it out, and here's my experience. Today I'm in Naples, Florida for the Cars on Fifth event. The sun's out, and this place is hopping. Now in its 21st year, the car show has grown and includes everything from British and German cars to Corvettes and muscle cars, and of course the crowd favorite, Ferrari and Lamborghini, and so much more. It's truly automotive overload, and being this close to the shore, as I'm walking around, I'm keeping an eye out for what I think might be some of the ultimate coastal cruisers. Just 3 blocks from the beach, what a perfect place for a beach cruiser. And Tom, your 49 Dodge Woody, this thing caught my eye. What's the story?
Thank you. Well, her name's Betsy. Bought her about 3 years ago. I took her apart for 1.5 years and gave her a paint job and such, but I bought it out of Long Island, New York, and had it shipped down here to Naples, and she was with the same family for over 70 years. Took her apart, gave her a paint job, put the racks on it, did some things to it, and it's just a fun vehicle. It just fits the vibe of the area. Dodge would make the chassis part of the vehicle, all the metal part, and then this whole wooden thing here was built by the Campbell Coach Company, and they would ship the wooden part to the factory where they were mated up with the metal and the wood was mated together. And they did that through the mid 50s approximately, and then they said they started putting wood decals on so it looked like it was, no, good old wood. Well, for starters, I have my grandfather's World War I Army blanket with his World War I shave kit, a couple Brownie cameras, a 48 star flag. It's called a pilot's cooler, Coca-Cola. I don't know why it's called pilot's cooler. Original 6-pack of grapeette soda full with caps on it.
You're really living out that endless summer, Tom. I'm jealous, but I love the truck.
Well,
very cool piece.
It is.
A Mercedes SL as a beach cruiser? This owner has the right idea. This is an all-original 1961 Roadster, and my favorite part are these period-correct water skiing accessories. There's enough Ford GTs on site to make up a whole starting grid at Le Mans, and that includes everything from a prototype from the early 2000s to the very latest Mark IV Signature Series. My favorite is this GTX1 Roadster, one of around 30 made. The top's been removed and it's got a big bump in power. This one now makes 650 horsepower. Besides the cars, there was also some key individuals on site. I caught up with Tom Reichenbach, design manager for the GT from the early 2000s, for his thoughts on this legendary model.
I had a vice president I was riding on a trip with, Mike Zevelking. And he says, oh, he says, Tom, I'm worried we won't sell all these cars, right? You know, because we usually are in the everyman's car business. And I said, no problem. He says, well, you know, we didn't sell our projection of T-Birds. And I said, that's not the same kind of thing. I said, these cars deliver on the promise, right? They look so fast and so hot. We had to make sure they delivered on that. And it wasn't just a poser car.
Looking out, let's say in several more decades, what do you think the legacy will be of this generation of Ford GT?
You make 100 decisions a day when you're building a car and designing a car. And one of the decisions we had to make is whether or not we should bond the aluminum frame together or should we weld it. And I thought about it for a couple of days. And bonding it saved weight. We were trying to save as much weight as we could. But I said, we're going to weld it together. And they said, why did you decide that? I said, 100 years from now, people will be going 200 miles per hour in this car. And we understand welding.
There's something about South Florida car culture, and Cars on Fifth is dialed into it all. If you love those high-end exotics or classics from decades gone by, make plans to attend.
You know, Matt, you always get to do the fun stuff, and I kind of like that Mercedes SL Beach Cruiser with those wood water skis. Did you get to use them?
Use them? No, I
no.
didn't.
Well,
I didn't, but I was super jealous. I was told by that was part of a club presence, and they were telling me that owner, I think, had driven over from Miami. I was like, man, that's the way to enjoy vehicles.
I would definitely cruise from Miami to Naples in that car. Yeah.
But I also really enjoyed, man, that was an impressive collection of GTs, and we were talking during that package just about how there's been a big spotlight on that iconic race car with the Roadster here, and then that cluster there. And I loved how he phrased it about how 100 years from now, people will still be going 200 miles per hour in these cars. Man, so incredible, but it was a lot of fun. Speaking of fun, let's talk about motorcycles, because I know that gets you going. That gets you excited.
It gets my motor going.
It gets your motor going. We were in Las Vegas for our motorcycle auction. Lots of excitement there. And Alyssa actually had a chance to go over with Johnny to spotlight a local builder that comes out to the auction specifically for inspiration. And here's Johnny's report.
We're out here in Vegas and we had to stop in at Sosa Metalworks. So why don't we go check in to see what Christian's up to building. What you got going on?
Messing with the rear brake right now, trying to get it all figured out.
So what is this? Like, what is the package you kind of?
It's started out as a 76, just Harley shovelhead. I decided to tear it all apart. And,
the style looks pretty unique. What's
yeah, so I've always been into like Japanese chopper style.
Or bars,
yeah,
tight.
Real tight.
Vegas has always been home?
Yeah, I've been here for most of my life.
You've been at the Mecum, right?
I have, yeah.
Yeah.
But just to get ideas. I have, design as far as like certain lines, like my gas tank designs, and the sheet metal stuff is more based off of things that were designed in the 50s and 60s.
You do a lot of it by hand, right?
It's all by hand. Literally all starts from this, and then I'll sit here and I'll
just fold it
frame
up,
or whatever. I'll just start bending it and kind of coming up with shapes and then adding to it. And then from here, I make a paper template.
Yep.
And then my paper template gives me my pieces, and then I start shaping it. Built this in 2012, and it's funny because I remember going to the auction to check out some of the older stuff because I had this idea of running a mechanical linkage for the throttle, like the old Indians used to do, Excelsiors. So I went to get some ideas.
No way.
I was kind of like staring. Try to imagine all the mechanical movements in my head and how to make it all happen. I met some really cool people there too. I think that's the first time I ever met Jeff Decker.
It's neat that, Mecum can be kind of inspiration for you,
Right.
Every year.
It's not every day that you get to see that collection of bikes all in one place, at one time, and they're also so different.
Yep. Over 2,000 motorcycles and 180 different brands. So it was like I didn't realize there was that many brands. there was a Volkswagen motorcycle there. I didn't know
sick.
Volkswagen even made a motorcycle. And then you look at it and you're like, oh, that's a part that kind of looks like a car. That kind of, maybe they kept that characteristic, and it's cool to see and hear that is like, inspiration for you. Cool to be here in Vegas, be at your shop and watching you do your thing. So
Yeah, thank you, man.
I don't want to hold you up, get you back to it. You got a timeline, man.
Yeah, for real.
Yeah, Johnny, don't mess with Sosa's timeline. That he's a busy guy. Back in the day when I was at Royal Enfield, he did a really cool custom build that was featured on that video. But it's cool to figure out where his inspirations come from, and Mecum's one of them.
And he's also not alone, because Alyssa and I were talking about another up-and-coming builder that we had was Corey Mock with Aero Precision.
Oh, I loved his
Metalworks.
Yeah.
And his stuff was getting all kinds of attention. He told us a similar experience, that he had come out to the auction before specifically to kind of see inspiration, heritage, how he could blend it into his totally one-of-a-kind customs.
They were one of a kind. They were beautiful. It was really nice to be around them. I'm also, again, jealous that Johnny got to go hang out with Sosa. His shop, he does a lot with the community too. He hosts like fabricating and welding workshops, and opens up to anyone that's interested. It's really cool how he obviously is very talented, but also wants to help develop the future of motorcycle builders.
And that's Christian Sosa. People want to find out more, and it is Sosa Metalworks there in the Las Vegas. Is it off the Las Vegas Strip? He's pretty close.
I don't know. I didn't get to go.
You didn't get to go. I think it's off the Las Vegas Strip. Otherwise, we'll have to phone a friend. We'll have to text Johnny.
Yeah.
But really neat to see just how the community really looks to Mecum as just for a variety of ways. For experiences, for fun with the family, for buying and selling of cars, but so much more.
And again, it's not just the auction. There's so many experiences that coming to Mecum has to offer. One, watching us live on YouTube is a great experience itself. But I did not even think about the fact that designers would come here and find inspirations.
Well, speaking of experiences, one that I did not get to partake in,
but
you
I did.
You headed up to the Northwest to take in some trucks that were part of a really fantastic collection. What all did you do?
Well, I tagged in our producer, Alyssa, and I said, hey, we're going to go shoot some really rare work duty trucks. And we had a blast, and we got a little bit of BTS coverage, so let's check it out. We are lining up trucks for a photo shoot, and my captain Dax and I are transporting the driver to and from the garage, and we have to make sure that we're efficient and timely.
You might have to give it, it's weird with this, you might have to give it less throttle.
Okay.
Yeah, when it starts like bogging down, pull it back a little.
All the trucks on this property are runners, but for the sake of being able to be more efficient in placement and getting things into place, we are towing this. Oddly enough, he put me at the helm of the steering wheel of a very nice 1917 Sterling. Little nervous right now. It is nerve-wracking. This is a significant vehicle, maybe one of its kind left in operation and fully running order. Not only that, but the owner is looking at me right now, so a little nervous. We're here in Healdsburg, California, and we are here prepping a collection ready to go to auction. We're sharing some behind the scenes moments, showing the collections team, getting all of the trucks and vehicles detailed from the inside and the outside. Then we're setting up our photography, making sure that each vehicle is cataloged in every way, from the interior shots, the exterior shots, and then some behind the scenes video content. At this shoot here in Healdsburg, California, we have Jonathan and Trish McNeil from Las Vegas. They are part of our collection services team. And what they do is they make sure that the vehicles are looking in the best conditions, setting them up and getting them ready for the photo and video shoots. Sometimes we do have mechanics that join us, depending on if the vehicles do need, I would say, a little upgrade or a little mechanical work done. This time we didn't need the mechanical team, and we just have the detailers with us, making sure that everything is in tip-top shape for photo and video. Having excellent video and photography is extremely important to the success or the selling story of your vehicles when you take them to auction. The videos and the photos are able to tell the story and the history, and then show all of the, I would say, major to minute details of the vehicle. When you have an auction, you have only a couple days that it's viewable in person. So being able to tell a captivating story on our website and through social media is extremely important. And when you have upgraded services that Mecum does offer, you're able to have professional video and photography services on hand to help the success of selling your vehicle. Thanks for joining us on this behind the scenes tour of making a collection. I got to get this truck running. It's a 1917 2.5 ton. Let's get this bad boy going.
I think Big Rigs with Bree used to be a regular segment.
I'm in. So yesterday was the day that collection rolled off the block. All of the trucks sold. It was nice to see who was bidding on them and what homes they were going to. But it was so amazing working with Ronald. He's in his 90s, and Steven, the one who helped him, restore that entire collection. They're so beautiful. But one of the big points that we did in this video is the marketing that goes behind each and every vehicle. Whether it's you providing photography, make sure you get your photos and the history and all the details you have on your vehicles so we can get them on the website. And the sooner you get them in, the better, right? It just gives more people a chance to view your vehicles. And something that we've covered in the past a couple times is, if you're able to make it to the auction, stand by your vehicle, let people ask you questions, tell them the story behind it, tell them the restoration process. It really helps in the successful sale of your car.
And the photography looked fantastic on those trucks. I love that era of antique trucking, and just the work that came out of it really, I think, helped to tell the story of those trucks.
Tomorrow, I think we're gonna do an episode on the 1917 specifically. You're gonna learn a lot of interesting nuggets about that car.
Pretty wild to think that's over 100-year-old vehicle.
Yeah, and I got to drive it. Well, kind of.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, Ronald was really
Ronald wasn't around for that. Just Steven was.
But that was part of the Timbercrest Farms collection that sold yesterday here at Glendale. And as you mentioned, tomorrow we have another package where we dive into the history of that truck. And I think we'll talk a little bit more about the results and about just kind of what's next for those pieces.
Yeah, and they're still on display. So if you go up to Gate 2 around the Adventure Zone area, you can also go check them out while they're still here.
Well, if you're coming out to Glendale, of course, there is so much to see and do. Come by our new Mecum in the Morning set, say hello, experience the Kids Adventure Zone, take in all of the cars, see the GT. Man, there's so much going on. We don't have enough hours in the day.
There's not. Like when the auction ended yesterday, I was like, wait, no, I want to stay more.
And of course, wherever you're watching this on whatever platform, be sure to drop a comment. Let us know if there's a consignment that you want to check out, something in particular, what you think of the show. We always watch those. We love seeing the feedback from our viewers and fans. And as we wind down, we will be back tomorrow for an entirely new episode.
We are.
Of Mecum in the Morning. And starting very soon will be our brand new coverage on ESPN Plus. There's a lot in store.
Yeah, 3 to 9 p.m. Eastern today. So see you guys later.